Hello, everyone. Winter has arrived here in Dutchess County. While it was 66 degrees on Saturday, we woke up to 3 to 6 inches of snow on Sunday morning. Dr. Laura and I had 3 of my grandchildren overnight. I had them in my car all at once, driving an hour and a half from Massachusetts. So my nerves are still a little shaken. Nothing I can't recover from, though. The Patriots calmed my nerves with an easy win over the 49ers, so they are looking good again. Let's start off with a little housekeeping as usual. I want to give a shout out to Rose and Kelly. I gave a little shout out to Rose, but it was not a verbal one last week, who found errors in my quizzes. I believe I gave everyone credit for question number 2, which was marked incorrectly. I left it the way it was because changing it would have meant I would have had to go in and change many more quizzes than I had to, because most of you, I don't know how you figured it out, which wrong answer was right, but you did. Kelly was the first to take this week's quiz. I think I posted it sometime Sunday morning, and she had completed it by the evening and found an error, a couple errors actually, which I immediately fixed. So I don't have to go in and change anything for this week's quiz. So thanks to both of my quiz editors. Remember, I'm creating this course as we go, and I'm looking for and deeply appreciate any feedback you can give me. Speaking of feedback, I tried using a wiki last session. If you go into assignments, you'll see a little wiki at the bottom, a link that takes you to groups, and you go into the group, and your group, or actually you could go into any group, and comment on the quiz discussion board I did a couple sessions ago. The two, Rose and Colleen, commented, and both were very positive about it, so it made me feel like it's something I should continue next semester. But what I am wondering if I structured that wiki incorrectly, because nobody else did it, and I know there's a couple of people who I really expected to have done it and didn't. So if anyone has experience working with wikis, let me know and give me a shout, send me an email, and let me know if I set that up incorrectly. So I would like to get feedback next semester in an appropriate way if I didn't do it correctly. So thanks in advance. Session 7, this session I wanted you to concentrate on creating an EdTPA type lesson plan for a grade pre-K through 6th math lesson. I'm leaving the DB open for at least another week and maybe longer to give all of you a chance to post your lesson and receive feedback from your group mates and from me. I noticed I was waiting all week to comment on people's plans, and I got a deluge of them when I looked this morning, Monday morning, and I thought, whoa, I guess everybody waited till Sunday and Saturday and Sunday, because I usually don't go on the course, Blackboard, on the weekends, because I work during the week. Of course, I do answer your emails during the weekends, as you all know. There are those of you who have emailed me. But I typically don't go on to Blackboard on the weekend. So, in taking a quick look, it looks like many of you are having difficulty with learning targets, and that's to be expected. I have seen activities and verbs that are too general and vague. Verbs like understand, that is way too vague. It's not specific and measurable. Or participate, or will appreciate. So, or just placing activities. An activity is not a learning target. Students will complete yada, yada, yada. That's not a learning target. That's an activity. So you should only have 1 or 2 learning targets in a lesson. You don't want to get too carried away, and you should have an action verb. Now, I have placed action verbs in course materials for session 5 and 6, I believe, or maybe 6 and 7, I'm not sure, but look in course materials for session 5 anyway, or session 6 anyway, because it'll be in that section. And it looks like this. You'll see there are some math, arts and crafts, English, ELA, behavior, and you can see that these cooperate, define, demonstrate, that they're action verbs. You can see students demonstrating, you can see them describing, you can see them diagramming, you can see them measuring. So those are the verbs. These are verbs that you can use to make those learning targets specific and measurable. And this is also your language function. Many of you didn't put in the language function, but the EdTPA asks you for the language function. So if it isn't in that EdPlan template, many of you are using an older one that I got rid of, but you grabbed it right away, but that's okay. I have another one that Turo is using. The Graduate School of Education is using a specific template now for all methods courses, and they also created a 15 character rubric, which I can't wait to use. Mine is only 5. I think it's 5. Five characteristics of quality for your lesson plan, but this one is 15. So these are action verbs, and they are in. Let me go in, and if I go into course material by week and scroll down to, I'm sure it's in week 6, course materials. And if you scroll down to the bottom, there they are, verbs for writing objectives. So if you're struggling with writing your learning target, use that handout. It's very important that your your targets are specific and measurable, and that your language function is an action verb, like describing, explaining, etc., etc. So that's one of the first things I noticed. And you also should be doing a learning target activity. The EdTP experts that I've seen think you should be doing something at the beginning, the middle, and the end of your lesson around your learning targets, where students are internalizing them, or talking about them, explaining them. I have a SWABOT video under additional resources, videos, lesson plans and videos, and she does a nice job of getting your students to internalize the learning targets. And then in the middle of your lesson, you might want to do it, at least in the middle of your unit. But I would like to see you do it at least in the beginning of the end. If you have a learning target, okay, this is what we're going to do, so students know what the learning target is, know where they're going. Where am I going? Where am I now? That's formative assessment. And how can I close the gap? So students need to know how far they have to go and what can they do to get that learning target. So I would recommend beginning, middle, and end, but beginning and end will be fine for me for a learning target activity. My comments will be geared towards the rubric. And if you don't get a lot of warm fuzzies from me, please don't panic. You're getting enough from your classmates, that's for darn sure. Most of us don't know how to give actionable, supportive feedback. We just give, oh, this was wonderful, that's nice, I loved it, I loved how you did this. And that's okay. Feedback that focuses on the positive is good, but in my job is to try to get you to improve. So if I haven't talked about something, that means you did it well. If I'm talking about something, if I'm giving you feedback, that means it's something you should look at and probably ratchet up or change or try to improve. So don't get down if I don't give you a lot of stroking. All right. In session 8, this will be our next to last math session. Algebraic thinking is going to be our last, so I'm working on that unit right now. there will be another quiz this week, and that's how I'm trying to get. I know that doing quizzes doesn't take as long as doing a writing activity. I believe we're going to be doing a double entry journal on algebraic thinking. I really haven't figured that out yet, but I think that's what I'm going to be doing. And then we're going to have two sessions, session 10 and 11, on science and inquiry. So that's what you got to look forward to. I'll be working on giving you feedback all this week. It's going to take a while. I know I've just done a couple of them, and it took me about an hour to do those two. So it's going to take me a while to give you feedback on those. I also have an assignment in my other two courses that I have to give pretty extensive feedback also. So I'll be pretty swamped for the next week or so, next 2 weeks. Just a reminder of vocabulary in your own words. That you should be filling that out. There are some words that you haven't had yet. I know this word heuristics. I think on one of my, in this lesson here, I have a little slide here on heuristics, which really is solving problems on your own. So these are ways to search for a pattern, draw a figure, formulate an equivalent problem, modify the problem, choose effective notation, exploit symmetry, divide into cases, work backwards, argue by contradiction, check for parity, consider extreme cases, and generalize. This is part of the problem-solving unit, and I don't know if it was mentioned in the text. I don't think it was, but heuristics is solving problems on your own. One of the others I think was enduring understanding, and that is really what we are now calling your central focus, and it's a general statement and it's a big idea. It's not students will be able to. It's really about a big idea, or it could be not enduring understanding, a question. What is a question? I'm trying to think of an overarching question. But here's an example. The topic is weather, a more focused topic with causes of different types of weather, and the understanding is weather and climate occur as a result of the transfer of energy into and out of the Earth's atmosphere. Okay, that's a big idea. So if you're talking about a specific topic like adding one-digit numbers, then the big idea is students will be able to add single and multi-digit numbers with or without regrouping. So that would be a big idea, that would be a general understanding. So that's what we're looking for there. Enduring understanding is a big idea of a unit that could be something that could be discussed over the whole year or several years. All right, so I will be putting a video and presentations this week on differentiating instruction and also on cooperative learning. So I will have those definitions. And curriculum compacting, you'll find that in additional resources under differentiating instruction. Let me see if there's any others that I can. Algebraic thinking we're going to talk about next week. Cubing is also a differentiated strategy that's in additional resources under differentiating. Heuristics. Most of these, the zone of proximal development, you should know from your child development course. Same with scaffolding, because that's Vygotsky as well. So that's it. Just wanted to mention your vocabulary in your own words. Still keep filling that out as we go along, and watch my video presentations for what I think are the definitions of those words. So that's it for this week. I'll be back next Monday with more algebraic thinking.